So, remember all those years ago when we thought gaming phones would just be a fad? Well, it's been 8 years since then, and they're still sticking around. In fact, we've got one of the latest ones here, the iQOO 12. I'm Jeevan. This is our review of the iQOO 12. The iQOO 12 is a little bit of a unique phone in that it comes with a design collaboration with BMW Motorsport. Yes, you heard me correctly, BMW Motorsport. And it's only for this particular variant, which they call the Legend design. It is pretty sleek, all white, and as you can see, kind of fingerprint prone. But the sleek motif and finish is actually quite premium in your hand. That said, this phone is designed specifically for gaming. Now, it comes with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigs of onboard storage. It's plenty when it comes to gaming and even doing your day-to-day stuff. But where you get the most benefit from this phone is actually in its display. It comes with a 6.78-inch display, an LTPO AMOLED display, and it has really good color reproduction. I mean, your whites are white, your blacks are really deep black, and when it comes to actually seeing real life photos on this display, it's probably one of the best in its price range. That said, I personally like this display because it is bright. It's 3000 nits of brightness with support for HDR10 Plus. Now, when it comes to gaming, that is partially because of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, but mostly it's because of Vivo's own supercomputing chip, the supercomputing Q1 chip. Now, Vivo introduced this chip in this phone specifically to enhance the gaming performance. It gives you better color dynamic. It also gives you better frame rate than on any other phone. This particular phone goes up to 144 Hz, but Vivo is touting that it can do even more. But perhaps we're going to see it in the later iQOO devices. That said, the things that I played on this phone include Diablo Immortal, Pokemon Unite, and even a little bit of Brawl Stars. As we all know, Diablo Immortal can be one of the most taxing games to play on a phone simply because of the number of events happening on the phone itself. What amazed me with this phone in particular is that it remained cool even on the highest setting. But remaining cool is only half of your gaming experience. What matters is what's happening on the screen. And when I was playing Diablo Immortal, the one thing that happened most while I was gaming was a little bit of stuttering. But that could also be because Diablo Immortal was updating in the background. Aside from that, the gameplay was really smooth, and at its 60 frames per second setting, you're getting fluid motion and even better performance when it comes to sharpness, the number of events that the screen can handle, and the number of graphical complexities that were happening on the screen. So when it comes to the phone remaining cool, it's also because of the new vapor cooling chamber that Vivo has introduced in the iQOO itself. From what I understand of the technology, nearly this whole back plate is actually a vapor cooling chamber. And because of that, it manages to stay cool even without an external fan. Now, since we've got gaming out of the way, there's one last portion that I think really matters when it comes to this phone, and that is this. The one design flaw, maybe, of this phone, and that's the excessively big camera hump. It comes with a 50 megapixel astrography sensor, another 50 megapixel ultra wide sensor, and a 64 megapixel telephoto sensor. This phone is capable of a 100x telephoto zoom. Now, when we're talking about this 100x, it's not optical zoom, we're talking hybrid zoom. But it's also got that astrography sensor on this phone is supposedly able to take night astrography, as in you are taking night sky pictures to visualize the stars.
Look at the stars.
Now, during our time with this, there wasn't a situation where it was primed to do so, but Vivo touts that you can do it without a tripod, which is very rare when it comes to astrography. Overall, when you're using the camera on this phone, I found the pictures to be a little bit too vibrant, almost uncannily vibrant. It wasn't lifelike, it was more like it looked artificially colored. Now, I believe we can dial it back a bit when it comes to manual settings, but most of us are going to be using this camera on its auto settings. So that was a bit of an issue for me. Aside from that though, the camera actually takes pretty sharp pictures. Details were not lost even under low light. So I have to give it to Vivo. When it comes to that, your camera is really good, but the over blowing out of the colors was a bit unnatural for me, even on the front camera, which is a 16 megapixel sensor. That said, overall, this smartphone could be a really good package, especially if you're looking for a smartphone that is gaming first. And honestly, this smartphone is gaming first at the moment. And it's also got one of the better camera setups when it comes to gaming smartphone. It's always been a pain point. Vivo has somehow managed to up its ante when it comes to smartphone cameras on a gaming phone. Overall, pretty good stab at a very balanced smartphone that is meant for gaming. Now, I wouldn't call this just a gaming phone. It's quite balanced. You will be able to multitask. You will be able to do more than just gaming with this phone. So kudos to Vivo on that. And I'm actually excited to see what comes up with the next iQOO smartphone. So that was our review of the iQOO 12. Tell us what are your must-haves for your gaming phone in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content from techENT. I'm Jeevan, and we'll see you in the next one.